Welcome to Anime Analyza. In today's video, we're diving deep into the epic world of Overlord, starting with a detailed recap of Season 1. Join us as we explore the story of Momonga, a powerful player who becomes trapped in the virtual world of Yggdrasil, transforming into the all-powerful Ainz Ooal Gown. But first, a special shout-out to Amin AH for spotting all 3 hidden anime references in our Fall Anime 2024 video. Impressive work. And if you missed that video, you can catch it through the link in the description. Now, let's journey through Ainz's rise to power, uncover the dynamics of his loyal followers, and break down all the key moments that make this anime an absolute must-watch. Let's get started. Yggdrasil is a Dive Massively multiplayer online role-playing game released in 2012-26 that is to be discontinued after 12 years of standing as the top DMMO RPG. Momonga, guildmaster of Ainz Ooal Gown, is conversing with guildmate Hiro during the last moments of Yggdrasil in their guild hall, the Great Tomb of Nazarick. Hiro bids farewell to Momonga and logs out. Momonga is enraged about his friends leaving the game but cools down after noting that they did not abandon the guild. It was that they had real-life issues to deal with. Now all alone in Nazarick, except for NPCs and still engrossed in the memories of the past, he takes the staff of Ainz Ooal Gown and heads to the throne room. On the way, he orders Sebas and the battlemaids to follow him there, where he meets Albedo. On a whim, he changes her settings to be in love with him, as its originally setting created by Tabula was that she was an absolute bitch. Momonga closes his eyes to await the forced logout by server, but realizes something is wrong as he is not ejected and remains in the game. He discovers, to his astonishment, that the NPCs have developed their own personalities and can be directly communicated with as if they were humans. Albedo, in particular, begins exhibiting the personality traits based on the settings Momonga made, much to his shock. He also notices he can smell now, which was not possible in the game so far. Dazed at all that has occurred, Momonga orders Albedo to call every guardian except those from 4th and 8th floor to meet him in the arena floor. There he meets the floor guardians Aura Bellafiora and Mar Bellafiore Momonga, and asks them to help him test out his newfound powers. Shortly after, the Floor Guardians enter the arena and introduces themselves. The Floor Guardians of Nazarick enter the arena and introduces themselves. Arriving first is Shaltir Bloodfallen, a true vampire and guardian of the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd floor. Then enters Cositus, the guardian of the 5th floor, whom Momonga tells is the definition of the warrior. Finally enters Demiurge, the guardian of the 7th floor, a true demon. Along with him enters Albedo, the overseer of the floor guardians. Upon arriving, they all at once pledge their loyalty to Momonga, to which he is greatly pleased. Sebas comes and reports that the guild hall was somehow moved to an unknown location. Astonished by this revelation, Momonga starts by strengthening their defenses and requests Mare to use his earth magic to blend the Great Tomb of Nazarick into the surrounding area. The Guardians, astonished at his dark aura of instilling fear and intelligence, leave to do their assigned works while Momonga continues to test his capabilities in the new world. He heads outside with Demiurge and glances at the world, jokingly commenting that conquering the world might not be a bad thing, to which Demiurge misunderstands this as an actual order. While using a magic mirror to examine nearby lands with the help of Sebas, Momonga discovers a village under attack from knights of unknown affiliation. At first, Momonga intends to ignore the slaughter, but when he remembers the debt he owed to his guildmate Touch Me, he decides to save the villagers and arrives there through a gate, which make the soldiers afraid. Momonga casts a high-tier spell, easily killing one of the soldiers and uses them to make a death knight. Momonga orders the knight to kill every soldier in the area. Meanwhile, a group of warriors led by a man named Gazef encounter sacked villages, looking for survivors. Nigun Grid Luin, the captain of the Sunlight Scripture of the Slain Theocracy, marches on Karn village with a team of magic casters to kill Gazef. Realizing this, Gazef attempts to convince Ainz Ualgaun to defend the village to no avail, so he sets out with his men to confront them while Ainz assists the villagers in escaping. Gazef and his men fight bravely, but they are beaten severely by Nigun's men. Before Nigun's magic casters can deal the final blow, an item that Ainz had previously given Gazef activates and swaps the latter and his men with Ainz and Albedo. Ainz reveals that his whole scheme was to test the power that the Slain Theocracy's men had, and that he was using Gazef to do so. Immediately, Ainz begins effortlessly batting away the attacks of Nigun's men, much to their shock. This leads Nigun to activate a 7th-tier spell, summoning a powerful angel to attack Ainz. The attack barely inflicts pain on Ainz, which he scoffs about. Ainz proceeds to obliterate the angel with a black hole. Dumbfounded and horrified at the power Ainz displayed, Nigun begins to beg for his life. After the battle, Ainz returns to Nazarick to announce his name change and their goal of spreading his new name, Ainz Ualgaun, across these new lands. Ainz and Narbaral take on the aliases of Momon and Nabe, respectively, in order to join the Adventurers Guild in the city of Irantel to learn more about the world. Several complications arise when Momon finds it troublesome to keep Nabe from blowing their cover while rowdy adventurers try to win Nabe's attention. Meanwhile, a dangerous necromancer and a bloodthirsty female assassin plot a takeover of Irantel. Momon, Nabe, and the Swords of Darkness are hired by Enfirea to accompany him to Karn village. On the journey, the party is attacked by a large group of goblins and ogres. A battle plan is made quickly. While the Swords of Darkness pick off the goblins, Momon and Nabe would eliminate the ogres. As the fight proceeds, Momon immediately breaks formation and instantly bifurcates several ogres to the shock of the Swords of Darkness. The other goblins and ogres panic and retreat at the sight of Momon cutting down their kin. Later, around a campfire, Momon and Nabe share a tense moment with the rest of the group when one of the swords inquires about Momon's past. Momon's group arrives at Karne village and meet Enri Emot and her goblin troop. Enri tells Enfirea why the village is fortified, and she also mentions Ainz Ualgaun, the red potion that healed her, and Albedo, which leads Enfirea to conclude that Momon is Ainz Ualgaun. Enfirea apologizes to Ainz for deceiving him, and Ainz tells him not to reveal his identity to anyone. Overhearing this, Nabe immediately becomes distraught as she was responsible for Enfirea uncovering Momon's identity. Later, as Enfirea requests the Swords of Darkness along with Momon and Nabe to help him collect medical herbs in the forest, Momon learns of the Wise King of the Forest, a supposedly powerful magical creature. Seeing an opportunity to gain fame, Momon contacts Aura back in Nazarick and has her draw out the beast from its den. The beast angrily runs out of its den and charges Momon. Momon immediately recognizes the beast as a giant Jungarian hamster, a species that one of his guildmates kept as a pet in real life. Noting how much of a disappointment the Wise King was, Momon instead opts to use one of his skills to scare the beast into submission. Naming the Wise King Hamsuke, Momon introduces Hamsuka to the Swords of Darkness, who are in awe over its wisdom. After successfully collecting the herbs, the group returns to Irantel. Momon and Nabe then part ways with the group to register Hamsuke, while the Swords of Darkness return to the pharmacy for their payment from Enfirea. The group is intercepted by Clementine, however, who menacingly mocks the group. Clementine appears in front of Enfirea to kidnap him. The Swords of Darkness attempt to buy time for Enfirea and Ninya to escape, but Khajiit blocks their way of escape. After registering Hamsuke at the Adventurers Guild, Momon's group meets Lizzie Barayar and guides them to her house. However, they find the Swords of Darkness turned into zombies. After killing them off, Momon immediately deduces 3 things. First, whoever did it did not hide the bodies, meaning they did not care to cover their tracks. Second, a piercing weapon was used to kill the swords. Third, their target was Enferea. With this knowledge, Momon asks Lizzie if she wants to hire him to save her grandson at the cost of all she has. Agreeing to the pseudo-Faustian contract, Momon uses several locator spells to track Clementine to an old cemetery on the edge of town. Ordering Lizzie to alert the guild in town, Momon immediately rushes to the cemetery. Upon arriving at the gate, Momon astonishes the guards by single-handedly annihilating the undead attacking them, despite being only a copper plate. Along with Nabe and Hamsuke, Momon carves a path to Khajiit and Clementine. Momon then leaves Nabe to deal with Khajiit, while he and Clementine leave to take their battle elsewhere. Along the way, Clementine attempts to psychologically taunt Momon. Momon brushes it off with laughter, and then enrages Clementine by declaring he does not need to fight seriously to kill her. Momon and Nabe begin their respective fights against Khajiit and Clementine. Khajiit summons 2 skeletal dragons that he declares are impervious to magic, but this is proven partially false as Nabe easily obliterates both the dragons and Khajiit with a 7th-tier spell. Momon, continuing to give Clementine a handicap, clashes with her repeatedly. Furious at how Momon repeatedly mocks her as weak, Clementine charges Momon with a full-force attack and stabs him in both eyes with elemental strikes. Momon brushes off the move to Clementine's shock and pins her with a one-armed bear hug. Revealing his true nature as an undead, Ainz torments Clementine that she was defeated by a magic caster that did not even use magic. Visibly shaken, Clementine snaps and flails relentlessly while thrashing at Ainz to release her. Her efforts prove futile, and Ainz crushes her body with both arms, killing her. Ainz then returns victorious with Narbaral, Hamsuke, and Enferea, and for his efforts is immediately promoted to mithril rank. As he discusses his new promotion with Narbaral, Ainz contacts Albedo, who alerts him that Shaltir Bloodfallen has rebelled against Nazarick. Shaltir is outside Nazarick, trying to find martial arts users with Sebas and Solution. After encountering some bandits, she sends Sebas and Solution back to the kingdom and goes to the bandits' base, where she confronts their leader, Brain Unglaus, who knows martial arts. However, he is so weak compared to her that she does not even realize that he is using them. She then goes into a blood frenzy and kills all of the bandits except Brain, who escapes. She tries to follow him but encounters adventurers. She kills all of them except Brita, who had Ainz's red potion, which makes Shaltir believe that Ainz wanted her alive. When she realizes that one adventurer was set to run away beforehand, should it all go bad, she tries to find him, but ends up being attacked by some unknown people who attack her with a weapon, but not before she manages to wound the user. After Ainz hears that she has betrayed Nazarick, he decides to go to her and find out why. Ainz and Albedo find Shaltir, and Ainz states that even though Shaltir is under mind control, she was left behind without any orders. Ainz attempts to use a super-tier magic item to free her, but it fails. Because of this, Ainz realizes that Shaltir has been mind-controlled by a world-class item, the strongest of all types of items. He decides to equip the Floor Guardians with the world-class items that Nazarick has to protect them before he goes to fight Shaltir. But he also states that Shaltir is one of the strongest NPCs in Nazarick, and that he might not be able to beat her. Ainz, while being observed by the other available Floor Guardians from Nazarick, finally goes and confronts Shaltir, who proves to be on par with Ainz. But Ainz beats her with a special move, after which she uses a skill to prevent her death, at the cost of using up all her mana. However, Ainz then states how everything has been going according to his plan. Ainz and Shaltir Bloodfallen continue their fight. However, it is revealed that outcome of their fight was already predicted by Ainz, using the knowledge about Shaltir, provided by her creator and his friend Peroroncino. He had the whole battle pre-planned. With his MP reduced, he changed to a warrior class and used the world champion armor. Then, using various other cash shop items, and finally using a super tier spell, Ainz defeats and kills Shaltir. Then, back at Nazarick, Ainz resurrects Shaltir using 500 million gold. However, Shaltir has no memory of her time under mind control, although it is revealed that the slain Theocracy was responsible for it. Momon and Nabe return to the guild to look for a new job, and it is shown that he has been promoted directly to Adamantite class, making them the third Adamantite party in the kingdom.